is really kind of a roundabout way into this world. It's definitely not something that I'd planned for probably 10, 15 years ago, right? My educational background is more on engineering and physics. And I started working in the AI space internal to MITRE about 6 or 7 years ago, and really started seeing the potential impact and the power of the technology, especially as we started to get through all of these kinds of hardware advancements that really enabled more and more adoption and implementation of AI. And that really led to us inside of MITRE, which is a not-for-profit that really allows us to kind of work at the intersection of government and industry and working on really big problems that impacts the entire community. It allows us to really think about some of the challenges that are facing the broader community that maybe aren't being focused on as much. And that's where I started diving into AI security and assurance specifically, which led me more into the broader cybersecurity community and really applying AI to more traditional cyber offensive and defensive and security practices. Yeah, I think what excites me the most is definitely the rapid pace that this whole AI for cyber and AI security landscape is evolving at right now. It's really exciting to see how much I think the field is going to change over the next 2 to 3 years, right? So we really have a lot of opportunity right now in this larger community to influence the future of what AI and cyber are going to look like here, as well as have a lot of really near-term tangible impacts on how quickly we can implement things in the right ways, right? Like enabling more AI adoption, but doing that with the least amount of risk associated with it. As we're working through this AI for cyber and kind of implementing AI in other environments, but with the right security practices around it. So definitely this is the cusp of what really is going to look like a very different landscape 5 or 10 years from now. And I think all of us are really well positioned. I'm super excited about how much we can do now to impact what that future looks like. With AI rapidly evolving like it is, I don't think anybody can stay on top of all of it. So this is one of the things that we've deliberately focused on working with the larger community on over the last 5 years is capturing the real world threats and concerns that folks need to be focusing on based on what we've seen demonstrated in the wild. So if you haven't taken a look at some of the larger community collaborations that we have going on around things like MITRE Atlas, that's a really good spot for folks to get started in trying to kind of dive into what things you might need to be worried about in 2025 as you're considering incorporating AI into different environments, and ultimately enable faster adoption by making kind of informed risk management and kind of data-driven decisions here, because we're not trying to prevent folks from using AI, right? We want to enable that adoption, but with that kind of data-driven risk management approach in mind. Yeah, trying to stay ahead of the rapid pace at which AI is moving right now is really difficult. So this is something that we've, again, kind of similar to what I spoke about in the previous question. Much of what we're trying to do with MITRE Atlas is enable folks to really see the kinds of attacks that are happening across the larger community at scale and keep them up to date on it without everybody having to dig through hundreds of research papers or media articles and not really know where to start with their team. So we're kind of deliberately trying to enable folks to work together with the larger community, and conferences like the one today are really kind of the perfect environment for folks to be seeing the latest and greatest of what's going on across the community and to get engaged, because I think that's the biggest opportunity that we all have right now is to continue to share best practices and capabilities and really data on what we're experiencing in applying AI to cyber or trying to secure and assure AI-enabled systems. If we're working together to share those tools, capabilities, and best practices, we're really going to be able to increase that overall baseline of the security across our entire AI supply chain and security supply chain here across the community group. So definitely incentivized to keep collaborating on all of this as we're combating some of these different threats that are continuing to emerge really rapidly right now.